the life and legacy of the commander of the faithfuls, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salam, the first man in Islam, the cousin of the Prophet, his son-in-law, the first defender and supporter of the Prophet. We will discuss his sacrifice and his contributions over 30 episodes. So please join me. I am your brother, Moustafa Qazwini. Assalamu alaikum. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى خاتمهم محمد بن عبد الله وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه المنتجبين. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, all praise and blessings are due to our Lord, our cherisher, our sustainer. May His peace and blessings be upon all of His messengers and prophets, and the seal of the messengers Muhammad, his immaculate progeny and family, and his righteous companions. May the peace of the Lord surround you, my dear brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In these 30 episodes, we're going to discuss the life and the contributions of the commander of the faithfuls, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salatu wassalam. And it's very hard to speak about this legend. It's very hard to understand him to begin with. It's a very difficult and arduous undertaking to try to bring the life of such a legend into 30 episodes, 30 segments, because his life is full of richness and contributions and sacrifice. And also he's very hard to be comprehended. He's too great to be understood and construed by a human being. ليس يدري بكنه ذاتك ما هو يبن عم النبي إلا الله. As an Arab poet, Sayyid Baqir al-Hindi, put it, he says, the human beings cannot comprehend you, O the cousin of the Prophet. Only God is able, because God is the one who created you and made you. And the hadith of the Prophet, the sayings of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Ali, ma arafaka illa Allah wa ana. O Ali, only two were able to understand you, and that is God and me. But we will try our best. I promise that I will do my best to introduce this great man, this great disciple and student of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to introduce him to you, my brothers and sisters. And Mutanabbi Abu Tayyib, the greatest ever Arab poet, was asked one day, how come you missed mentioning Ali in your poetry? وَأَنْتَ ابْنُ الْكُوفَةِ, while you are the son of Kufa, and Ali ruled there for almost 5 years. So he answered in this couplet. He said, وَتَرَكْتُ مَدْحِي لِلْوَصِيِّ تَعَمُّدًا إذ كان نورا مستطيلا شاملا وإذا استطال الشيء قام بنفسه وصفات ضوء الشمس تذهب باطلا. I deliberately stayed away from praising Ali, because Ali does not require any praise, any compliment. Ali is like a sun. Whatever you say about the sun is insufficient. No matter how you want to describe the beauty of the sun, you would not do justice. This is why I failed to do justice to Ali, because Ali is like a sun, and I cannot contain him in a human expression. Ali himself speaks for himself. Ali does not need someone to introduce him. Ali's character are unique and outshines everything. But let's begin and see, what does God say about Ali? This is very important. Before we begin searching for Ali and his seerah, his lifestyle, his contributions, his legacy, let's see first what God says about him. Commentators on the Holy Quran contend that there are 300 verses that speaks about Ali ibn Abi Talib, are references to Ali ibn Abi Talib and his contributions and his character and his sacrifice. Others put the number at 1,000. ألف آية نزلت في علي بن أبي طالب. And let me begin by the second chapter. Let's go through some verses of the Quran. Not all of them. Let's select some that shed some light on some aspects of his life. How does God speak about him? How does God describe him? How does God introduce him to us? So we know Ali through the Quran, through his creator, through the one who brought him into this existence, through the one who made him, through the one who created him. In the second chapter in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 274, الذين ينفقون أموالهم بالليل والنهار سرا وعلانية فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Those who spend their wealth بالليل والنهار, during the night and during the day, سرا وعلانية, secretly and openly, فلهم, they shall have their reward with their Lord, ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون, neither there is fear upon them nor they shall grieve. Ali had 4 dirhams, dirham being a silver coin. He spent one during the night, the other during the day, meaning he gave them to the charity, as a charity to the poor people. One in public, the other in secret. And this verse came to celebrate this occasion and this giving and this selflessness. A person whose wealth is only 4 coins and he spares nothing for himself. He gives one during the day, one during the night, one in public, one private. He spends all his wealth. That person, فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, shall have his reward with his Lord. A Lord is the Lord of generosity. So when we wait the reward from Lord, then definitely He will do justice to us. He will give us many faults. And on such people there is no fear and there is no grief. They are going to have a happy ending. They're going to have their rightful place with their Lord. So this is one verse. The second, again, in the second chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 207. It's again about contribution, about giving. But this time, it's not the money. This time, it's the self. It's the self. And that is the highest level of giving. And God states in the Holy Quran, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ رَؤُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. Among the men, among the people, is the one who sells himself, who gives himself, يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ, who gives himself ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ, seeking the pleasure of God, seeking the satisfaction of God, not seeking any title. He was not looking for fame. He was not looking for compensation. The only thing that he had in mind, ابتغاء مرضات الله, ابتغاء مرضات الله, solely seeking the pleasure of God. And that how the contribution should be when you give. Whether you give a small amount or a large amount. Whether you give your wealth, whether you give food, whether you give time, whether you give energy, or you give yourself, your own soul. ابتغاء مرضات الله, seeking the face of God, the pleasure of God, the satisfaction of God. ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد. And certainly God is compassionate to his servants. And that happened, of course, during the night of the Hijrah, when the Prophet left his house in the middle of the night, leaving the city of Mecca, going to Medina. And Imam Ali chose to stay in his bed to defend him against the aggression of the polytheist. So that is the second verse in the Holy Quran that celebrates the contributions and the sacrifice of this man, of Ali ibn Abi Talib. The other one is in chapter 5, verse 55. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. Your leaders, your guardians are none but God, his apostle, and the one who gives charity while he was bowing. And if you go to the books of tafsir, the commentary on the Quran, many of them, this is a reference. You find that this is a reference to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. When he was performing a prayer inside the mosque and a beggar comes inside, asks for help, he received no attention from anyone. He came to Imam Ali while he was in the state of sujood, and Imam Ali stretches his hand for him, signaling that you can take my ring. He took the ring off his hand. While he was doing the prayers, he gave the charity. He did not allow him to wait, because act of goodness requires that you expedite them. Give them faster, without hesitation. So he gave it to him. And this verse, this act was celebrated in this verse, in chapter 5, Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 55. And it is known as Surah or Ayatul Walayah. The other one is Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 61. فمن حاجك فيه من بعد ما جاءك من العلم فقل تعالوا ندعو أبناءنا وأبناءكم ونساءنا ونساءكم وأنفسنا وأنفسكم ثم نبتهل فنجعل لعنة الله على الكاذبين. an incident that took place during the life of the Prophet. Many of you are aware of it. A group of Christians from the southern part of the Arabian Peninsula traveled to Medina to speak to the Prophet about his new religion and about the identity of Jesus. They had dialogue, and then they reached this agreement that if we do not believe it in each other, then let's go outside the city and stand in front of each other and do what is called mubahala, asking God to send the curse on the group of the liars. So they both agreed. And the Prophet among all the men took Imam Ali alayhi salam. وَأَنفُسَنَا وَأَنفُسَكُمْ. We take ourselves and yourselves. Yourselves is a reference to the Christians, the Christian delegation, and ourselves is reference to Imam Ali and the Prophet. The only male who participated in this, the only adult male who participated in this dialogue was Imam Ali alayhi salam. This is a reference to him, to his piety, to his closeness to the Prophet. That the Prophet is putting his closest family members right before him to dialogue with the Christians and to invoke God's curse on the party of the liars. And when the Christian group saw that the Prophet is bringing the closest people, his daughter Fatima, his two grandchildren Hassan and Hussein, and his son-in-law Ali, then in that case they backed off. They said, no, we are not going to continue with this process, because we see faces now so pious that God is willing to, if you ask him by these faces to do anything, he will do. Even if you ask him to remove the mountains from the earth, he will do. We are not going to dialogue. We are not going to continue. So this is again a credit for Imam Ali and the celebration of his contribution. The other verse is Surah Al-Insan, chapter 76. إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس. Abrar means pious. من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا. And then he says, يوفون بالنذر. They fulfill, they stand true to their pledge. يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره مستطيرا. ويطعمون, now they sacrifice and they give despite their need. They give. ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا. And then speaks about their sincerity and dedication and earnestness. إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. What we do is just for the sake of the Lord, because we love the Lord. So they are all celebrated in this verse. And then you come to Surah Al-Ra'd, the very last ayah in Surah Al-Ra'd. Surah Al-Ra'd being chapter 13. The very last ayah, verse is 43. It says, وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَسْتَ مُرْسَلًا. The non-believers, they contend, O Muhammad, you are not the messenger of God. God did not send you to us. قُل, say to them, كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. Say to them, suffices for me as a witness between me and you is God and the one and such who possesses the knowledge of the book. And according to the Mufassirin, Shawahid al-Tanzil, Al-Hasakani, Jami' al-Ahkam al-Quran, Al-Qurtubi, and many others, they say that person who possesses the knowledge of the book is none but Ali ibn Abi Talib. So God is putting himself in one verse. God and Ali ibn Abi Talib in one verse as a witnesses to the truthfulness of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then we come to the last but not least example of how God speaks about Imam Ali in Surah Al-Haqqa. Surah Al-Haqqa is chapter 69, verse 12. لِنَجْعَلَهَا لَكُمْ تَذْكِرَةً وَتَعِيَهَا أُذُنٌ وَاعِيَةٌ. So we made it a reminder. Tazkira means a reminder, and that a retaining, discerning ear might return, might retain. When this ayah came, the Prophet said, Ya Ali, دعوت الله تعالى أن يجعلك أذنا واعية. I asked Allah to make your ears a discerning ear, an ear that does not forget. From that day on, Ali said, I never forgot anything. Two people would not forget. One, the Prophet, whenever he reads something, because the Quran says about him, سَنُقْرِئُكَ فَلَا تَنْسَ. We would make you recite, so you shall not forget. سَنُقْرِئُكَ فَلَا تَنْسَ إِلَّا مَا شَاء اللَّهِ. The second ear, أُذُنٌ وَاعِيَةٌ, that is the ear, discerning ear of Ali ibn Abi Talib, who never forgot anything the Prophet said to him, neither an ayah of the Quran nor a hadith or a saying of Prophet Muhammad. This is in a brief how God introduces Imam Ali alayhi salam to mankind. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.